Hi, I'm Lynette, aka London Makeup Artistry, and welcome to my channel. So today I am bringing you a tutorial on this look right here using my new Xuri Cosmetics palette, eyeshadow palette. If you like these types of videos, go ahead and hit that like button and consider subscribing because I do these types of videos every week, every Saturday here on my channel. Now, the Xuri palette is a brand new company, I believe. I went on their website. This is the only thing that they sell right now. So I believe they are a new company. They are in England. And I probably first learned about them on Trend Mood on Instagram. Probably had a picture of this palette. And then I saw it in a couple of other YouTubers' videos on new releases, whether they were going to buy them or not. And from the moment I saw it, I knew it had to be mine. So it's a black-owned company, as I said, based out in England. And the palette is designed and developed in London and manufactured in China. But it says it's cruelty-free and has a shelf life of 12 months. Now, from the ingredients, I didn't see any parabens in here from what I could see, and I didn't see any carmine, but it doesn't say vegan, so I'm going to go ahead and assume that it's not vegan, but it is cruelty free. So this is what the palette looks like. It has this beautiful African print design on the front and the back, and the ingredients are on the back here. And this is a sleeve. It's a cardboard sleeve, which kind of feels kind of flimsy, but when you take it out of the sleeve, here is the palette, and you see it is exactly the same as the sleeve, front and back, and very beautiful. I mean, the packaging is really beautiful, and the palette itself is cardboard, but it's a very it feels like a sturdy cardboard, not flimsy at all. And it does, I think it has a magnetic closure. I think it's a magnetic closure. And then when you open it up, you have some big pans. You have this really big mirror. Look at that. And then the shadows. And there are 12 shadows in total. And they are pretty big pans. They're like the same size as the Juvia's Place eyeshadow pans. And you have a mixture of shimmer and matte shades. Let's see. This is and there are names on the palette. So the names of the eyeshadows are on the palette. And they have names like Sunrise, Papaya, Sangria, Reina, Empire, Xuri, Hibiscus, Panther. And this is a matte shade. This Sunrise here is matte. This beautiful orangey shade Papaya is matte. And then you have these shades down. All four of these down here at the bottom are matte. This dark matte brown, this like reddish brown shade here, Shea. Reina is this matte plum purple shade, and then you have Panther, which is this matte black, which is really black, and when I swatch it, it's really smooth. It's definitely brown girl friendly because these shades right here, the matte shades, I think will make, aside from the black of course, really nice crease colors for darker skin. And I love it. The colors just really spoke to me as soon as I saw it. I probably have a lot of these shades in other palettes. You know, I probably don't have anything this bright, but I'm sure I have other similar oranges in Juvia's Place palettes. I have similar yellows, maybe not as yellow as this one, in Juvia's Place palettes, and a Colored Rain eyeshadow. Of course, these colors, this blue, I have something very similar in a Juvia's Place palette. So a lot of these shades are not unique, but I do like this Amore pink shimmer shade. I'm into pinks. I've always been into pink shadows. I don't know why. Because I guess you don't see a lot of them in in palettes, so I always go for the pink. And this shimmer shade right here, Tigress, it's beautiful, orangey type shade. I don't think I have anything like it in my collection. So this definitely spoke to me, this shade. I bought this eyeshadow palette before I went to IMS. I just want you to know that. If you would like to hear my thoughts about this palette after using it for the first time today, then please go ahead and stick around for after the tutorial, and I will be talking about the shadows and what I think about them. Also in the tutorial, you'll get to see how these shadows perform. So if you would like to see how I achieve this look using my Xuri eyeshadow palette, then keep on watching. I'm starting off like I usually do with my LA Girl Pro HD Concealer in the color Fawn. All the products I mentioned will be listed in the description box below. And I didn't feel like dirtying up a brush, so I'm just taking my finger and I'm blending it out. And I like to use a concealer to try to mute out some of the discoloration on my lid. Then I'm going in with the NYX Blame It On Midnight eyeshadow just to set that concealer all over the lid. Now I'm going into the palette and I'm going to use Sunrise, which is this pretty yellow, but I do have to admit I was a little disappointed it wasn't more vibrant. It barely showed up on my skin, so I had to build this up quite a bit to get it to what I wanted it to look like. I'm still looking for a nice yellow shade, a nice bright yellow shade for my skin. Now I'm going to use this pretty orange shade, and it is Papaya, and it too is pigmented, more pigmented than that yellow, and I'm going to put that in the crease. And I'm using back and forth motions with my NYX number 16 blending brush. Now I'm going to go in and take Tigress, which is this pretty purple, orange shimmer shade, and I wet my brush with some MAC Fix Plus. All of the shadows I put on the lid, I use my Fix Plus to wet, and I'm taking a flat MAC shader brush and I'm swiping and patting this eyeshadow onto my lid. And I think I might have used a little too much Fix Plus when I worked with these shadows. Here I'm just putting it high up into my crease, in the first quarter of my crease. I like to do that every now and again to really just open up the eyes and make it pop. Now I'm going back in with Papaya just to make sure I blend those two shadows on the lid and in the crease together. Back into the palette, I'm going to take Sangria again with a wet brush. I'm just using the other side of that MAC flat shader brush. And I'm going to put that on the outer edge of my lid and blend it into that Tigress. Want to make sure these two shadows blend seamlessly together. I'm also bringing it up a little ways into the crease and halfway across the crease. Now I decided to take a little fluffier brush to try and blend it out. I think my brush was a little too wet, so it made it a little more difficult to blend this shadow with my other shadows. And then I moved to an even bigger, fluffier brush to try to blend those shadows together. When you wet the shadow, it does make it a little more difficult when you're trying to blend them out. And now I'm just adding some more of that Tigress to make sure that I didn't lose any of that intensity when I blended it out with that Sangria. And now back into the crease with no additional product on the brush, just to make sure all those colors blend together well. Now I'm using Reina because I wanted to add a little more depth and dimension because it was looking awfully orange on the lid. And I'm just making sure I'm blending it out on the lid and in the crease. And then again with that NYX brush to blend them all together. Now I'm just cleaning up the fallout, and I'm going to make a nice sharp edge here for my eyeliner. And here I'm using my NYX Wonder Pencil in the color Light to on my waterline, and I'm going to place it under the waterline as well so that it will serve as a primer for the shadows I'm going to place on the lower lash line. And now going back in with Reina on a short smudger brush. This is a Sigma brush. And I'm going to put that on the lower lash line. As usual, I also get in my waterline. I don't know why that always happens, but it does. And now back in with Papaya using that same brush. And I'm just going to blend that virtually on top of it. I would like to bring that shadow a little lower, but because of those wrinkles on my eye, it just doesn't look right if I go too much lower with eyeshadow. Now I'm going to mix Hibiscus and Sunrise together. Hibiscus is this really bright gold shimmery shade, and I'm going to use those two shadows for my inner corner highlight using a Makeup Geek pencil brush. And these are the eyes completed. I used my Inglot number 77 black gel eyeliner to do the wing. And no lashes today. Didn't want to bother with that. And we're all done. And I finished off the look today with my Chestnut lip liner from MAC, of course, and the Milani Amore Matte Lip Cream in the color number 11, Precious. And then I topped that off with the Sephora lip gloss in number 35, Earth and Fire. Of course, I wanted to do a reddish, orangey lip like my eyes, but I tried to restrain myself today, so I just went with the little pinky nude lip. I think it's a little too pink maybe. I don't know, I might change it later, but that is the look. So in terms of my thoughts on the palette, it's a beautiful palette. I think perhaps wetting the shadows, as you saw, I probably used a little too much Fix Plus and wet my brush a little too much because the shadows got a little grainy at one point, especially on the left eye. And at some point it seemed like the shadow was coming off, especially when I was trying to blend that darker Sangria color on the outer V. I ended up changing over from a really flat, the MAC really flat synthetic brush to a fluffy Sigma blending brush, and that seemed to work better. The colors are beautiful. As you saw from the tutorial, they are pigmented. They blend it very well. They blend it well together when they were dry. When they were wet, they didn't blend as well together. But nice pigmentation, and really all the colors showed up on me. The Sunrise it's pretty. I mean, you can still see it. I had to build it up some, but very nice. All of the shades worked well, and I like it. I like the palette. I am looking forward to playing with it some more and doing many more fun looks with this palette. If you would like to see more tutorials with this palette, please go ahead and thumbs up this video. I hope you liked what you saw today. If you did, go ahead and like this video and consider subscribing, because I do tutorials on my channel along with a lot of other beauty related videos here every Saturday. Thanks for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.